Good morning, students. Let's do our chapter 3, Deep Water, by William O. Douglas. Now, Douglas is the writer as well as the narrator of the chapter because this is an autobiographical account. Douglas was an advocate, and for 35 years he served as justice in the court, and that remains as the longest service. So, this man says that I lived with a childhood fear, and for many years that fear remained with me. But then I felt handicapped. And then he wanted to come out of that fear. Now, many of us live with fears, but many of us remain with those fears and we don't want to come out of it. One of that fear is the fear of water. Douglas, when was 3 to 4 years old, went to California beach with his father, and there he drowned in water. Not just drowned, he was just embedded in the water. And the father laughed. Douglas developed a fear of water because that time it was just a very small event or incident for the father and for the child. But the child was very small and he developed a fear of water. Still, this child, when turned 11, he went to YMCA pool to learn swimming. And then something happened over there. A bully boy came, and just for fun or a prank, he ducked Douglas into water. Now, Douglas developed a phobia of water after that because he nearly died, according to him. Just at the nick of the time, he was saved though. But still, he said that wherever he went to enjoy swimming or canoeing or boating, wherever, or even fishing, the fear of water followed him. And Douglas said, I'll not live with this handicap. He hired an instructor, and which is just a matter of 15 days for a common person, ordinary person to learn swimming. Turned out 9 months for Douglas to learn swimming. But still, this man, you'll appreciate the tenacity, the hard working, and the perseverance of this man that he wanted to come out of this fear of water. So, this chapter tells us that we should not live with any fear because that fear turns out to make us handicapped. We have watched many films on such things also, where we see that people don't live with fears and they wish to come out of it. And we are impressed because we also don't want to live with the fear. So let us read this chapter, Deep Water. And close to the close to the title, there is an image there of a drowning boy. And this shows that this boy nearly drowned in water, and still he developed a phobia of water but wished to come out of it. So let's begin the chapter. Today we'll do the first portion of the chapter when he came to YMCA pool. Now remember one thing, when he came to YMCA pool, he was 10 or 11 years old, and he still had that subconscious, the fear of water in his subconscious when he was there at California beach when he was 3 to 4 years old. So that in his subconscious, that fear of water was still there. Still, he came to YMCA pool. So let us see what happened where there at the YMCA pool and how this boy wanted to come out of that little bit of aversion of water that he had developed at California beach. So let's begin the chapter. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA at Yakima, in Yakima. YMCA, the full form is Young Men Christian Association. And now these associations have swimming pools of their own, and people can come and swim over there. Although they just need to pay, or there is an instructor over there to make them learn swimming. In some cases, the instructor is not there, and people keep on learning swimming on their own. Now, here also the instructor was not there, and he just came there and started to learn swimming. So, let us see here. The place is Yakima. In Yakima, that offered exactly the opportunity. The Yakima River was treacherous, life taking. There are many rivers around where people believe that every year they take life. And Yakima River also, it happened that one or the other person drowned, kept on drowning in the river, and that's why people called it treacherous or life taking. Mother continually warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. Maybe somewhere the mother was also responsible in keeping this fear in the child, that she kept on saying that never go into that river, although we can understand that she was worried about the safety of the child. But still, this happened. Then, mother continually reminded me of warned against it and kept fresh in my mind the details of each drowning in the river. But the YMCA pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, while And while it was 9 feet deep at the other, the drop was gradual. Now, this question came in the board exams, and the question was, why did Douglas choose YMCA pool? The answer is this: YMCA pool was comparatively safe as compared to Yakima River. First point is this. And second point, if you will see here carefully, it was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, which every pool is, and 9 feet at the other for divers to dive. But the important thing, the drop was gradual. If you understand that the pool is a long pool, then in that case the drop of the pool is so gradual that by the time you come from the shallow to the deep end, you come to know that the level of the water is rising. So you come to know when it comes to your shoulder level, we understand that we have to move back. So choosing YMCA pool, the reason was it was comparatively safe as compared to Yakima River, and second, the drop of the pool was gradual. Then after going to YMCA pool, what did he do? Let's see the last second line. I got a pair of water wings. Nowadays we call them floaters, and people usually wear them in the arms there, and then after that they don't drown into the water. So these are just a safety measure. So he got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs. Now, Douglas had some inferiority complexes, and one inferiority complex was that he was very lean and thin, and people usually called him skinny. Yeah, generally people say very lean and thin people, people usually call them skinny. So, Douglas was very skinny, and he had that inferiority complex of entering into the pool, being just wearing that the swimming costume and go inside. People would look at him and say how skinny he was, but still, he controlled it. I subdued my pride, subdued, controlled. And here, pride has been used in the sense that it was his inferiority complex. So he has used the word pride instead of that because he doesn't want to say that I have an inferiority complex. Okay. But I subdued my pride and did it. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water. Aversion, hatred. See, there's a confusion somewhere while answering the questions. When people say, when did Douglas develop an aversion to water? The answer will be at California Beach. And when did Douglas develop a phobia of water? It will be at YMCA pool. So these two answers have to be different. Then, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old, and father took me to the beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf. I hung on to him, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. Father laughed, but there was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. You can understand he was just 3 to 4 years old. So any child would develop a fear of water, and he also developed a hatred towards water. Although for his father it was a very small incident, but on the tender mind of Douglas there was a lasting impression, and he developed a fear of water. Then let's come back to the present where he came to YMCA pool. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories and stirred childish fears. As soon as he saw the water, the same aversion of the same experience which he had at California Beach turned or came into the conscious mind. But in a little while, I gathered confidence. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them, copying them. This word can be used in other extended compositions also, like we say people ape the west, they copy the west. Okay, so he started copying the other boys and started to swim. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. And that misadventure, I've already told you, that big boy came, that bully boy came and picked Douglas and threw him into the deep end of the pool. So that misadventure has been talked about. Then I went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet, the water was still, and the tiled bottom was as white and clean as a bathtub. I was timid about going in alone, so I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen with legs and arms that showed rippling muscles. And here is one more indication to show that Douglas really suffered from that inferiority complex of being skinny. Because the way he looks at this boy, he says beautiful physical specimen with legs and arms that shows rippling muscles. So this shows that if we had inferiority complexes, we have one more example to prove it. Then he yelled, "Hi, skinny! How do you like to be ducked?" Now, for that boy, it was just a prank. He said, "Hi, skinny." That means he was making fun of Douglas because he was very lean and thin. And he said, "How do you like to be ducked?" Now, ducked is when sometimes people just hold another person into the water and they stop the person from coming out. It's just for a prank. People don't want to kill anybody, but it's just for a prank. And the same prank was here being played by this bruiser boy. Now, see the next line, and we'll stop after this line only. I had not been there long when, with that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. Now, here we are going to stop. Here is where this big bruiser boy picked Douglas up and threw him into the deep end. Now, the remaining chapter, we will do what was Douglas's experience at YMCA, how he felt, like nearly being drowned or nearly dying, how he felt, and then how he hired an instructor. So, the chapter is divided into three portions. One is how did the misadventure happen at YMCA pool? Then, what were the fears in his subconscious that is there? The second portion consists of what was his experience at YMCA, and the third portion consists of how he hired an instructor and learned swimming again. So the chapter is divided into three portions, and we will complete it into three parts. So I'm sending you the PDF also and the notes also. Thank you.